Hello, hello, everyone. It's Thursday.
We are live. It's Thursday, and I'm a little bit sad. It is our final episode of Spicy Love. It's been 9 weeks, which means we're week 12 of quarantine. We literally started this show 3 weeks into quarantine because that's what we did, and that's what manifested. And now we're on week 9, and we've got an amazing show with 4 incredible influencers that are going to give us their time to talk about all kinds of juicy things as it comes to love and dating. So, Michelle, what have you been up to? What have you been up to?
Well, first of all, let me just say hello to everyone that's out there. Like you, Carm, I am so sad that this is our last episode, but it doesn't mean that the show's over. For all of you watching, we know that you guys love us and we love you just as much. So we're going to be back in the fall. You know, we don't have the dates yet, right? We don't have the dates yet.
Probably back to school right after September when the kids are, well, hopefully the kids are in real school and a real classroom. That being said, probably the fall, if not cuffing season, right? We're going to be ready for cuffing season when it's cool in certain parts of the world and y'all are looking to shack up with somebody to keep you warm. We'll be there. We will be there for you.
We will help you get through cuffing season. And for those 100%. Of you who are newly tuning in, my name is Michelle G. I'm a professional matchmaker, relationship expert. And my colleague here,
I'm Carmelia Ray, celebrity matchmaker and online dating expert. And the next hour is dedicated to your viewing pleasure and talking about helping to navigate the pandemic dating, right? Dating during the pandemic and other issues that seem to be happening right now in the world. So we're going to talk about some really important topics.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, for all of you watching, if you have a single friend, an entrepreneur, if you yourself are an entrepreneur, if you're looking for love, if you just want some advice on how to make your life a lot better, you want to go ahead and tag a friend and tag them in the comments right now or share this video, because although we're going to be talking about love life, we're also going to be talking about business, because the influencers we have today, they are influencers for real. These are actors, actresses, speakers, YouTubers, fitness experts. So these are individuals that, let me tell you, I feel honored, as well as I'm sure Carm does, to have them on our show. And we're so excited to get to know them.
Absolutely. All right. So without further ado, let us bring on our very first influencers, aka celebrity, and it is Danielle. Where is she? Where is she? Woo!
Hi. How are you?
We're great.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. You know, we normally do these introductions when in our regular format, we introduce our singles, we blind them. We kind of don't reveal them to the singles, but you guys are too juicy to like blindfold.
No blindfolding today.
No blindfolding. And you know what? I'd rather
for later in the segment.
Part 2.
You got it.
Yes, part 2. Exactly.
I would rather the audience hear from you, Danielle. Why don't you share with them who you are and what you've been up to?
My name is Danielle Vasanova. I'm an actress, a model, an influencer, a voiceover artist, and an entrepreneur. And I actually had 2 movies that were getting ready to go right before we hit quarantine. So those have been put on hold, but I'm starting my own beauty business and I'm writing a book currently. So I'm keeping busy.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are you, can you share what you're writing a book about? Can you give us a little bit of the deets?
I can't give you too many deets, but it's about my life, and hopefully it will inspire a few people along the way.
Oh, you got to definitely let us know once it's out. We'd love to be able to get our hands on that copy. I'm very curious.
Absolutely, for sure.
So I have a quick question for Danielle, and that is, in acting, since you're an actress, how is it that you don't fall in love with your co-host? Like, how do you separate your co-star, sorry. Like, how do you separate those emotions on screen? You know, me and my husband, we talked about it, and I asked him, I'm like, what if I was an actress and I had to like make out with some guy? Like, how would you feel? he doesn't have the happiest face, but you know, I
Like,
always
not
wonder.
allowed.
Right.
You know, it's funny because I think when you have to be intimate with a co-star, it's very mechanical. It's very weird because there's just, you know, the crew is all around you and there's lights and it's really not sexy. Even though it's supposed to look very sexy, it's not. It's like the
I guess
weirdest
that
thing.
what the viewers aren't getting is what we're seeing on camera is what the producers and the executive producers, it's what the cinematographers, that's what they want you to see. And we forget that you're so right. There's like an AD on deck. There's the EVP, the producer, the
PAs, like
everybody. And we're thinking, oh, I'm gonna cry. And you guys are like, weird, awkward.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
But let me tell you, it is an art because the movie that comes to mind is The Notebook. I just can't imagine that.
That's one of my favorites.
That's mine too.
I've watched it a million times. I know.
Oh, I love it too.
Well, those co-stars actually did fall in love with each other. While
sometimes it happens. Sometimes it does happen. The chemistry gets you, and it's
Well, and I think if two people are they happen to be single in the time, it adds to that. Okay, well, while we're at it,
yes. Is it life imitates art or art imitates life? Right?
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
My God. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Danielle. We're gonna go ahead and get back to you, but we're gonna introduce our second celebrity guest here.
Okay.
Yes.
So our second celebrity guest is Paul Nadeau. Let me go ahead and there he is. Hey, Paul.
Hi, everyone.
Paul.
Hey.
Share with us a little bit about you.
And where you're from. Yeah, where you're from.
Yeah, I'm Paul Nadeau. I am from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and sharing a little spicy, I guess, little clip about me. I feel like Forrest Gump sometimes. Such incredible things just tend to fall on my lap, and I end up, walking with Oprah Winfrey hand in hand, just a bunch of weird things. And you look back and you go, you really are Forrest Gump, dude. So
we all love Forrest.
We do. I mean, he's just such a pure individual, and it's just a lovely thing to have. I'm a former police officer, a police detective, a hostage negotiator, international peacekeeper. I'm a published author of a book called Take Control of Your Life. I'm going to get a little shot here. There's actually 2 editions. Okay. And this book is really making a difference in a lot of people's lives, and especially now since COVID-19. It addresses how we sabotage ourselves, the things that we say, and the crisis we find ourselves into, and how to get through crises. So that book is doing really well. I've done a TED Talk. I've done some acting too, and getting back into it, I've written a film a screenplay that is getting a lot of attention. And right before COVID-19, it was getting the kind of attention that could bring it to Netflix, that could bring it somewhere. So I'm still looking forward to moving forward with that project. And I continue to write. I've written a 2nd book, now writing a 3rd book, and just want to keep active.
We have a bunch of authors here.
Yeah.
That is great. Stand by, because we're going to bring right now a content creator whose platform happens to be one of the largest platforms for video consumption, and that's YouTube. And I think last count, she's close to 663,000 YouTube subscribers. I do not know how you amassed to that, but let's bring on Ariel.
So I don't know how I got that many subscribers either.
Well, was there a moment or like a viral video that all of a sudden you went from X followers to X, or for you, was it more of a slow and steady? Can you talk to us about how that happened?
Yeah. It was slow and steady. I was I call myself like one of the original lesbian YouTubers. There wasn't many of us back then. Now there's maybe a few hundred, but the top creators, maybe 10 of us.
Are you in that top creator list? I'm going to assume you're in the top 10.
I think so. I would say so. Like people that are consistently creating like LGBT content. Yeah, I'm one of them.
That's great.
It makes dating very difficult, believe it or not. Very difficult. And
I
something
can imagine.
something
We're gonna get
spicy.
into that. Yes.
Okay. Do you want to hear about something spicy yet? Or no?
Yes. Yes.
My something spicy is that there are lesbian YouTubers that tend to date other lesbian YouTubers. Like, it's a thing. Like how actors date other actors. You were talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
YouTubers date other YouTubers. For sure.
All right. Now, are they public about it or are they private about it?
No, they're public about it and they're private about it.
Wow.
You would never know. You would never know until they're ready to tell you, because then they're ready to make money off of it. Let's be real.
We're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to that. Was there a question? Oh, yes, we did have a question. How, Ariel, do you come up with topic ideas for your YouTube channel? Because you've been going now 10 years. You have an expectation from your audience. How do you keep it fresh?
I just talk about whatever's on my mind. And since the world is forever changing, the content's going to be forever changing. It's really that simple for me. And whoever I come in contact with inspires me in different ways. Recently, I've been interacting more with the conservative LGBT community because I've had nothing but hate from the far left progressive side of things. So I was like, you know what? It's time to show myself some love and not try to please other people and go towards the community that's effectively, taking me with open arms. And I'm filming with a gay guy, drag queen, Trump supporter tomorrow morning. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, and I just happened to see him. I happened to see his Twitter. And I was like, that's a really good video idea. Yeah. And that's it.
Wow.
Sometimes it's just a matter of how people are speaking out and how they inspire me.
Now, Ariel, where are you located? Where's your home base?
New York City.
Okay. But you're not in New York right now.
No, I'm in St. Petersburg.
Okay.
Florida.
Okay. And I missed where Danielle is based. Is she in California? LA?
Yeah, LA.
LA, and we have Toronto, and we are about to bring in another influencer from my hometown. Carla is from Toronto. Where is she, girl?
There she is.
Okay, there she is. Hey! Talking about content creator, Carla is also a content creator, and she writes about a healthy lifestyle, the KG lifestyle, to be frank. And Carla, tell everybody where you're from and what you've been doing in the pandemic.
So I am from Nova Scotia originally, Cape Breton. I live in Toronto. I am the health and lifestyle editor at Holler Magazine, and I own my own company, KG Lifestyle, and that is lifestyle training and personal training. Mind, body, soul training.
Well, if you follow Carla, I follow Carla on Instagram. I was watching her stories this morning, and I just have to tell you, Carla, number one, I don't know how you work out with your hair out and about because I cannot do it. So
I don't.
That's why I was so shocked to see you with your hair up in two cute little buns.
Right? We were in the sun all day, and I can't do the hair down.
Yeah. But I really like your content. For those of you, I follow Carla and I see her really great content. And I'm curious to know, Carla, what inspires you to create fresh content? Like Ariel says that it's the people around her, like who she comes in contact with. Is that the same for you?
I feel I'm a light worker, so I feel like I feel energies really strongly. So when people need something, I feel like I know that that's a need, or somebody needed to hear that, something inspirational that day, or it's just a constant. I'm always wanting to kind of help whoever I can. If it might be just one person that read a post or saw something that I posted in a story, or however that is, that might just inspire them to do something to make their life better. Then when people see somebody else do something, they realize that they can do it too, So you're not some special person. You just tried and
yeah. I just saw you on your head this morning, and I was like, I'm going to attempt that, and then I'm not going to get on my head.
Right.
I'm going to break it, but you did really great.
Half the things Carla does, I'm like, no, we're not trying that at home. No. We're not trying that at home.
It's fun to push your boundaries, right?
Yeah,
your body
exactly.
Oh my God.
Well, in our normal segment, this is where we would have 4 singles and we'd move into learning about dating stats. However, we thought it'd be fun to test your acronyms for testing, for texting. And some of these acronyms come from the Gen Z population. So before you splurt out the answer, I would love you guys to give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if you know the answer. Okay, number one. And then we'll call on you to give us the definition if you can guess what this means. Okay?
Now, before we get into our segment, for all of you that are watching, you have a question for any of our celebrities on the panel right now, please type it into the comments. It could be about love, life, if you want to know more about their career, maybe a health tip, anything like that, or maybe like a good read or whatever else it may be. Go ahead and type it in the comments.
Yes, you have 4 influencers who are able to help you in so many different areas. So take advantage of that. All right, let's see if they know this one. I didn't even know. What does ILY represent in texting? Oh, we got, hold on. Danielle. All right, Danielle and Ariel were like, okay. Danielle, you were quick. What is it?
I love you.
Yay!
I thought that, then I'm like, it can't be. That's too simple,
right?
I thought the same thing.
Right? Like, that's too obvious.
Okay. Well, this one may be the same thing. Go ahead, Michelle.
All right. So once it was referred to as "give me the skinny," and now it's referred to as "what does T mean?" It used to be referred to as "give me the skinny." So what does T mean?
So Ariel,
That's the gay version. We coined that term.
did you? Okay.
The T? Yes, girl. Please.
Yes,
Are you
yes.
serious? It just means like the gossip, the drama, like
Yes,
what is going on in the world.
gossip.
Tell me.
All right. Spill the tea. That is gossip. All right. Paul, did you know that?
I did not know that. No. Give me the skinny. I kind of knew, but the tea part, no, caught me off guard.
You had your thumb up. What was going to be your guess?
Well, no. The tea part I was going to pass on, actually. I was going to give you half an answer.
Oh, what was going to be the half answer?
Your
then?
answer.
I'm getting an education here, so this is good.
All right. All right. Well, let's see who knows this one, because I didn't know it automatically. In texting, what does IKR stand for? Ariel's going to pass everything.
I'm a borderline
right.
Gen Z.
All right.
I'm really millennial, but like, yeah.
Exactly.
I do
Carla?
internet for a living.
I can relate.
It's unfair. It's an unfair advantage.
I know. No, I can't. I was thinking I can't. Never mind. I don't know.
It's really close.
See,
It's really close. Danielle, do you have a guess, Danielle?
I know, right?
Yes. I know, right?
Ah.
I know, right?
I just use emojis.
Well, that's true. We could have just
Yes.
used the eggplant emoji and asked you what that
Right.
means. All right. Oh, here.
I didn't know this one. I didn't know this one.
What does it mean when someone beats their face?
What?
Oh, Danielle is like, she's all right. Okay, give it to them, Danielle. What is it?
I don't know.
You mean Ariel?
Ariel. Sorry.
Put on makeup or beat my face. Put some.
Yeah.
She definitely has an
verb, and
advantage.
it's all
I
about
have a very big
you.
advantage. It's not fair. I'll give you guys that. If I know it, I'll
Okay. Beat is about applying your makeup, and I learned that from my Generation Z daughter, and she's like, her friends are like, "Oh man, your face is beat," and I'm like, "That's rude." She's like, "No,
no, it's a good thing.
it's a good thing. It's a good thing."
I just want to know, how did you feel at that moment when your daughter's saying, "Mom, like, hello, it means this"? Like, what did you think of that moment?
I'm proven that I'm super old like 6 times a day, so it's okay. Like I this terminology stuff is for our benefit, so we can be cooler. Like that's it.
Right.
All right.
Okay,
This
so
one I did not
I
know.
think everyone can figure out this one. In texting, OFC is the abbreviation for Paul. Come on.
I'm thinking, oh gosh, you know what? I'm going to pass on that one.
All right.
Out for coffee?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Close, but no.
Hey, Carla, when you text me and I OFC you, that means I'm out for coffee.
Right?
Ah.
No.
Danielle?
Oh, sorry, I did it in advance.
It's okay.
My
Out
apologies.
for coffee. That's what it is, right?
No.
Of course.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea.
Okay, so let's see if Paul can get this one because I
Okay.
think most of the women will know.
No pressure here.
What does look mean? L-E-W-K.
Oh
I know
my
this.
God.
I
Should we-
see
should we-
Ariel
should we-
smiling.
It's so easy for me. Should I give him
Gosh.
like a hint?
Give him
Yeah,
a
give
hint,
me a
give him
hint.
Give a hint.
Girl, that is a look.
Oh man.
I mean, was that a
Yeah.
hint? I don't know.
Is this something that women use exclusively, or do men use
No.
this as well?
I would
Women to each other, women to gay men to women.
Yes.
Look is used as a variation of look. About a signature physical trait or specifically carefully constructed outfit or appearance.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, like you like my look,
Oh.
L-E-W-K. It's your outfit of the day, what you look like.
it's not even that. It's more specific than that. It's like these earrings are a look. Like this is like everybody knows me for these earrings.
Ah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like it's yeah. I think that's.
so
I mean,
it's like a
it's gay culture.
signature.
It's different. Yeah, it's like a signature. Thing. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, this has got Paul. You've got to
Paul.
get this. One thing. One.
Gosh, you know what? Yeah.
SMH.
SMH. Oh Lord.
Oh God, this is
Too easy, right?
We're helping you. We're helping
Yeah.
I
you.
know
Look
you
what
know
we're
what?
doing.
I appreciate
I
all the
can't, I
help.
just-
I am getting educated here.
Danielle, Carla, someone throw them a bone.
Someone bail them out.
SMH. You know what? Let's ask the audience, the males who are watching this.
I don't know.
Do any of you get this?
Shaking my head, my dear.
Oh,
Like three of us were trying to help you out there.
Yeah,
we're
okay.
like,
All right.
head.
I thought you were all disgusted, so I thought,
We were
okay,
just,
No,
they're
no.
shaking their heads.
You don't want that reaction when you undress with a woman, though. That's not the reaction.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Or vice
You know-
versa. Or
Yeah,
vice
exactly.
versa.
All right.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
The final word that we're gonna untangle is Gen Zs use fit as a slang for.
Carla, I see Carla's
this is
face.
actually pretty easy. This is actually pretty easy for anybody. I feel like it would be easy.
I want to know if Ariel.
It's just two different things. I feel like it's two different
Okay.
Well, there's
What is
two
it?
different meanings in one in the
Two
UK
different
and one in the US.
Exactly.
Mhm.
What is it?
Am I giving me again?
Wait,
we're gonna
wait.
give it away.
Anybody else? Wait. Anybody else? No?
No.
Okay, go ahead. You got it, Ariel.
In the UK, it just means you're hot, like you're fit.
Mhm.
But here, it just
Okay.
means like your outfit, like your put togetherness. Like your entire look, like your put togetherness.
The short. She's
like-
so on
Yeah.
point. Like,
Yeah, she is.
Did you read the Urban Dictionary? Like, is this?
I'm an internet person for a living. This is part of my job to get
That
what
is
people are
so
saying.
crazy.
Yeah, right.
It is a whole other language. This is just
It's
showing
it's-
you
yeah,
how
it's-
it's a
internet
whole
speak,
other
yeah.
language. All
Last
right,
week we did
guys.
online
Well,
dating terms. Do you remember that one? I'm sure
Yeah,
Ariel
we
would have
did.
aced all of those.
Yeah. All right, let's give Ariel
I
a
bet
round
you-
of
I
applause,
bet
guys,
you I could
because
give you
she's
something that you would never get.
he kicked some serious butt. All right, now we're going to talk about things that we can all participate in, and we don't need a dictionary for this game. We're going to talk about some fiery topics because, right now the world is full of unprecedented things and times. And because Michelle and I are matchmakers and many of our viewers are single, they're looking for some tips, some advice, some know-how in how to navigate online dating and dating in general. So, given we've got 4 very, very attractive panelists who probably get picked up or tried to get picked up many, many times.
I wish.
Let's go one at a time. What's the best way to let someone down via text? And what would you say? Who would like to
Just
tackle
stop
that
answering.
first? All right,
Oh,
Danielle. She's like, I can tell you how to get let down. I do that all the time.
No, you should
Yeah,
not
I
get
can
let
say
down by
that
the
too.
text.
I don't have a problem.
Danielle's a heartbreaker. No, just
You should not do this via text, but in the current climate, an easy way out is I'm practicing social distancing.
Oh,
Sorry.
That's cold.
Not sorry.
Yeah. That's
Wow,
real social
that-
distancing.
that is
okay.
like legit. Okay, all right. All
Okay,
right.
that's I
I
like
kind of like
that.
it.
That's
I kind of
good.
okay. So
I'm
what
practicing-
happens if you weren't in a social distancing environment?
like in real life. What's your go-to?
I don't know. I'd probably just do the long goodbye. That's heartless. That's so heartless.
You remember that scene in Friends when Chandler's like, "We should do this again sometime."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I broke up with her." She's like, "No, you didn't. You told her you would see her again." He's like, "That's what people say."
Oh my goodness.
Don't say that.
All right, Paul, you're the only gentleman. What's a gentle letdown to a female that you would be texting?
I think just being, honest and not really making a big thing out of it. Just, I'm glad we spent some time together, but I'm just not feeling like moving forward. I'm just not feeling the connection. And we don't have to go into a long explanation. In my, point, the way I see it is just, it's just really appreciated having some time with you, but I don't see this going any further for either one of us. So
okay. I like that answer. I like that. Carla?
Yeah, I'm very much the same. I don't like beat her in the bush. I feel like it's nicer to let them know exactly how you're feeling than to string them along.
Yeah.
So I just literally say you're an amazing person. I just don't feel the vibe between us, but I wish you all the best, and that's kind of how.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So for Carla, it's more of a vibe thing.
Yeah. Totally.
Paul is a not in my future thing.
Yeah.
And Danielle, social distancing.
Yes. I'm social distancing from you.
Eventually forever.
Ariel, what's your go-to letdown if you have one?
It completely depends. Like, am I just talking to them on an app? Have I texted them? Have I met in person with them?
Dates. You've been on
2 dates?
2 days. Yeah.
I'm usually the one that gets let broken up with, to be honest.
Oh.
No.
Okay. So when was a nice time that someone did it to you? That was really that you received it well.
Yeah, I think she told me, she's like, "Listen, I didn't come here to fall in love. I didn't expect to feel for you this much. I can't do it," type of thing, And I appreciated that. She was honest with me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's great.
Honesty is a big takeaway here. Is just being honest.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. That's a great question. Okay, guys. So topics such as define the relationship, moving in, family, finances, those are really difficult topics, especially when you're already, let's say, dating between 3 to 6 months and things are getting more and more serious and you're moving away more from that less phase. How would you bring up a serious topic like this? Like most of the time, at least I know Carmen and I, we've had the experience where we as women, we get antsy. Oh, we've been seeing each other for 6-8 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, what are we?
let's do the define the relationship scenario, because that one is always a sticky point for people. Let's start with Ariel. Ariel, you're last. So you want to bring up the conversation of like kind of where it's going. Let's do that one. How would you bring that up?
Listen, I only date women. And even if you're a woman who dates men and women, or if you're a woman that just dates women, I feel like even if you're like, bi, as long as you're half lesbian, half gay, you have that thing about you that just wants to dive right into a serious relationship, which is why I think anyone that's a lesbian that's single has issues. Because let me explain. Everybody that I know that's single that are good people, the only reason they're single is because people that could be good matches for them are stuck in abusive relationships or in relationships that they're no longer happy with. People want to be comfortable. Women especially women that are also dating women. It's a thing. It's a thing in the lesbian community.
Wow. So then if that's the case, so are you, just so I'm sure I'm clear, are you saying that these are topics that, maybe in a heterosexual relationship comes up later, but maybe this is something that comes up later?
Yeah. It comes up right. I think it comes up right away with lesbians for sure. Okay. Because lesbians, like the ongoing joke, which is stupid, but it's actually accurate, is what do lesbians bring to a second date? A U-Haul. And it's true. Like I'm not even joking around. 75% of women that I know that date women move in together within like 2-3 months. It's insanity.
You know what? I actually have a couple of really good friends, and I've heard that also from some of my
It's
gay
very
friends. They
common.
say that, and
so
it's
it's
like
so funny because in the gay community where the men
Men are the opposite. They
they're
don't want to be
so opposite. They're promiscuous. They have
Yep,
multiple
yep.
lovers. It's like, are you top or bottom? All right, let's go to the back room.
yeah.
Yeah,
We
that's
sorted
it.
that out. We sorted that out, right?
Yeah,
So
but you know what? It's men talking to men. Like they feel that they can be
pretty
much
open.
more honest and
Right.
open
Yeah.
about it. And women should be able to be like that too. I think we just have more, and I think a lot of us are getting to that point. Like straight up, I ask people if they're top or bottom too, or switch.
Mhm.
But we just have so many more emotions than most men.
I didn't know there was a top or bottom with women. That's an education. That's a
For
lesson
sure.
for me. Did not
Wow.
know that. Okay.
Thanks
Yeah.
for
All right,
sharing.
so let me pick on Paul. Paul, you are dating a woman now, and you're at the end of like, you're the guy, and you're kind of going, where's this going? So, how would you lead into that conversation? Well, how would you set the mood for that discussion?
Well, okay, yeah. Setting the mood, making sure that we have an evening together where there are no interruptions. And I believe in just starting out by, expressing where you feel the relationship is, how you feel, and invite honest communication. I like you. We're at this stage right now. I feel, like moving forward, and I want to get your impression. How are you feeling right now? This is what I see for us, and just take it slowly, but invite some communication, some honest communication, and no stress, just let's talk about this. Stating your feelings first, I think is really important. This is how I feel. And I'd like to know if you feel the same way. This is
I like
where,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
And I
It
think
sounds so simple, right? Like, why don't we
Right.
all just do that? Like that.
Hey, I like you, but there's that rejection piece of like, oh,
Yeah.
what if I like them more, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Yeah, rejection is something that just prevents so many great things from moving forward. That fear that we have, we put so much weight into the opinions of others to the point where, we freeze instead of moving beyond our fear and tackling something that it's probably in their mind is the same. They're thinking the same thing, just nobody's brought it up.
And I think sometimes the way to move into fear for everyone who's watching is sometimes you have to talk about it to actually move through the fear. Sometimes, if you're afraid of heights, you actually have to go and put yourself in an environment where you're going to, you're going to just push yourself to that next level. So I really love that advice. Thanks so much, Paul.
Oh, you're welcome.
Who's next?
Carla, do you want to chime in, or Danielle?
Yeah,
How you would?
For me, I literally just straight up say, so are we there? Which I've honestly been always the one that's been asked that question, and I freak out. So I kind of don't really know, because for me, when I'm dating, I like having the separate places because we spend together time at each other's house anyway. So it's kind of nice. So I try to kind of wait as long as I possibly can, because I feel like then the relationship goes to that next level where you're like, now it's gonna start declining.
You're like, you have a place and I have a place. I like how this works.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like once you start living together, it's great, and it has to be, and it's got to happen eventually. But it feels like it hits the next stage of the relationship where the guy and the girl both stop trying so much, and the excitement's kind of nulled somewhat, as opposed to it was before when it's new.
I need to know if you're a fire sign. Are you a fire sign?
Are you a fire sign, Carla?
I'm a Capricorn.
Really?
Ooh.
That's very rare for a Capricorn.
Right? I am a definitely
Very rare.
odd. January 2nd, so I'm like right
It's
at
a very odd thing for a Capricorn to do.
Yeah. Danielle, what do you think? What do you think when you want to, like, how do you bring it up? Do you have them bring it up? Like, what's the conversation like?
They usually bring it up, I would say.
Okay.
But I think for me, it's a vibe. I think you kind of just know. I think you feel that closeness. And I think that you just start to wanting to spend more time together and do more things. And I feel like, you just bond on a different level, or maybe even a more spiritual plane. And I feel like it's just about that connection. And I feel like you both feel it. You kind of know.
Right.
But typically, I'm not the one to bring it up.
Got it. Is it why? Is it the person who brings it up, or is that the weak? They always say, I know my partner says to me all the time, oh, the person who shows more feelings has the control over the relationship, right? If one person feels like they like the other person more, it's about control. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that, but I'm sure the person who does like the other person probably feels that they don't have control. Right?
Yeah,
like
a control thing as somewhat.
Yeah.
I think for the guy, when especially for me, from my experience, they like to know where you are all the time and what you're doing every day, and that they're gonna wake up and you're gonna be right there. So I do feel like that is somewhat sometimes the part of it.
Yeah. That's the part that doesn't work for you. I know that part.
Right? It's like independent.
That's the part that doesn't work for you.
You can find
all
someone
right.
who can live with you with that.
Thank you for all that insight, guys. All right. Here's something that something we hear from clients when shortly after a great date is so what now in terms of communication? What are your thoughts on communicating daily via text? What's appropriate? And, I'll give an example. Especially with younger people, I find that, and not even younger people, some of my clients get upset when the person they're dating doesn't say good morning or doesn't say good night. And you've got two different experiences where one person like checks the phone and like, oh, didn't say anything to me, or I said good night and there was no reply. And they'll get a text like 24 hours or maybe even a couple days later. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you're dating someone, or even if you're in a relationship, is there some hidden code that if you're in a relationship, you should say good morning and good night every day? Like Danielle's kind of smiling, so I don't know.
And wait, can we define relationship? Like, what do you mean by relationship, Carm? Like they've been together for a while?
I think no. This is two parts. You're dating someone, you're both clearly interested in each other, right? And then there's another part where you are actually in a relationship. You're now exclusive. It's early stage. You don't really know each other. Well, you're getting to know each other. But there is that expectation that you communicate daily. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. What are your thoughts on that? And how do you address it? Who wants to go first? Yeah.
I mean, I believe in matching energies, right? So yeah, it's nice if somebody says good morning or good night. I think it's nice for the other person to address that and say it back or give them something. But I feel like for me, I like to keep it spicy. Like I like to keep it interesting. I don't like, 2 days the same. So I don't ever like if it gets to be too routine or, every day when you get up, you expect that text. It's like, no, you got to keep it interesting and do things different every day. Yeah.
Okay. I like that. I like that.
Paul, I'm curious to get a guy's perspective, because typically the clients I don't know about you, Carm, but I hear it a lot from women. Is that the same for you, Carm? The clients?
Well, I hear the complaints come from men. Never complain that a girl. The only time a man complains is if the texting is incessant or it's given as a demand. Oh, well, she expects me to do this or she expects me to do that. Right. I think whether it's man or woman, anytime somebody has an expectation of you that is not inherent in your nature. Like if you're an introvert and they expect you to go out every single night, like that could be an issue, right? So Paul, what do you think?
Okay. Again, it comes down to how we all perceive our relationship or what we expect in our relationship, and that open communication dialogue is important. If I get 50 texts, or 20 texts, that can get pretty annoying. And it's like, hey, I get that from a couple of people, and it's just to the point where you're not reading it anymore. I think it's really important to stay connected, but I don't think you have to do that every single day. It's beautiful to send a smiley face halfway through the day to let the other person know that you're thinking of them. And this is, hey, if I send you this is what I mean, and I may not have the opportunity to have a full conversation. The difficulty is that we, oftentimes we overthink. Life is empty and meaningless. So what do I mean by that? It's empty and meaningless, not that it is empty and meaningless. It means that we sometimes attach meaning to something without understanding it completely. So, for example, if 24 hours go by and you don't get a text from the person that you're in a relationship with, you start to think all kinds of things. Hey, she doesn't like me anymore. He doesn't like me anymore. What did I do wrong? Meanwhile, their phone was down the toilet. But we're attaching the wrong meaning to something. Yeah. So, the important thing is that we have to understand the meaning, and sometimes we just have to ask. So as far as getting a text every day, if both of you are good with that, that's important. Again, it comes down to what your likes and dislikes are and the communication.
But is that something that I guess the question then to my follow-on question to your response is that something that has to be discussed? Like, do we have to say to one another, let's say you and I are seeing each other, like, hey, I'd like, to hear from you every day? Like, is that something that has to be said? Because I think that's also the question that's in a woman's mind.
Taking organicity from the relationship when you start so should we text each other every day? Should we do this every day? It should be more just, I feel, fluid, organic.
See all the faces like
what you said. I dated a guy that we didn't text every single day, but he would send a fish, and he was like, "You're my fish, and you're my fish," So he would send a little fish and a heart, or or good night. So maybe we wouldn't talk, but it would be a gesture that would just make my heart smile, and he knew that. So that things like that, I think it's nice. And is it Danielle said to have it different all the time, not every single morning, because then you're like, okay, what do I say this morning? I said that yesterday morning, and I said the same thing yesterday morning, and then I'm like, now I feel like it's just repetitive. So it's nice to organically just how you feel, and if something comes up where one person is feeling off, just say, then you have that conversation where it's this is just how I am, and if you expect more, then tell me that. Kind of thing.
I'd love to hear, Ariel, is the communication better with women, in your opinion, based on the fact that, as a species, we like to communicate, we like to be in touch, or do you also run across women that are also, I don't need to text you every day. I don't they're not into the communication?
Can I curse?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Sure.
Mature. The only is the term. The only type of women that date women that I know that don't like texting, or specifically won't text, do it for a reason, or don't do it for a reason because they're fuckboys. Okay. We make a joke in the community, we'll say oh, she looks like the type of girl that texts you every 5 hours. You know what I mean? Hey, how you doing? And then you don't hear from her for 5 hours. It's it's a vibe. And you just kind of, it's very passive aggressive, but you kind of get it right away, the energy wise. I do think that women are way more communicative than men, usually. I could sit there and just text whoever I'm dating, all day. Not nonstop, but every hour I'll send them something,
and then it's welcome and received and reciprocated.
They love it. They love it. Yeah, right. because we get in our own heads, and like Paul said, if they don't text me, or if I don't text them, I already know what they're going to be thinking, because I'm already thinking the same thing. So it's just okay, I haven't texted in a while, I probably should text her something cute. Yeah, doesn't worry. We just get it.
Cool.
I think we communicate very well as women, but I think emotionally we're very passive aggressive, which is not good, not healthy.
This one I want to hear about.
Yeah, this one's good. So sometimes we come across someone who is definitely more interested in us, right? This is the person who you went out on a date, they text you right after, and then they text you the next day, and then they text you afterwards, and then they're like, hey, do you want to see each other tomorrow? And you on the other end as a recipient are like, I'm still not really sure about you, but this is turning me off because you're a little bit too needy, too touchy-feely.
Carla's like, I need my condo.
Yeah,
Get me in my cave.
she's like,
I need my condo.
I'm OFC, guys. I'm OFC. I'm out for coffee.
I'm out for coffee. I'm out for coffee.
Yeah, right.
So I'm curious to know for you guys, what do you consider, or how much do you consider it to be too much interest? What does that look like?
Here's the fine line, because the person who likes you, and this is often the case, they want you to know they like them. Obviously, they don't want they want you to like get it right, that they're into you, and then sometimes it's at their detriment, right? Like that it's too much. So for those who are listening, let's hear from influencers who can tell you how much is too much. So let's give an example of what's too much. Anyone?
Well, one thing I'll say is the human nature is to want what you can't have. Yeah. So if you know something is completely available, it can be a comforting thing or it can be a turnoff. It depends on the person's personality, I think. And everybody's needs and wants are different. Like, say, as for a Capricorn and a Taurus, they may love that needy vibe. And me,
oh yeah, they do.
I hate it. I'm like, make me want you, make me think about you, make me miss you, make me like yearn for you. Don't make me be like, what? I know what you're doing every 5 minutes of the day.
Capricorns love work, even in their relationships.
100%.
That explains her on her head all the damn time.
I love it.
I don't have any time to even look for a relationship.
Tell me what an Aries. What does an Aries woman want?
Aries. I have not dated an Aries, so I don't know too much about them. I know Aries men very well. From what I understand about Aries in general, though, they kind of, at least in homosexual relationships, they kind of go into the relationship as one and come out as the other. It's really weird. It's like they have this thing where they need to change people. But the person being changed enjoys it. It's not a bad thing. Like
they're good. They're good with being a puppet. I like that.
I have two friends that are
my puppet. Okay.
Yeah, they love it. I have two friends that are both Aries men that were verse bottoms, and they were dating verse tops, but then now they're the ones that top more.
Interesting.
And it's very rare to see that in the gay community, for like somebody to switch like that. But for some reason, Aries, I don't know, they're very convincing. Very convincing.
Okay. Right. Well, since we're talking to you, what is too much interest then? Like, and what does that look like in the lesbian community or in the gay community?
Yeah, in the gay community. Like? What does that look like?
For me, too much interest would be if you just keep texting me every 5 minutes and I'm not responding back. I like, because I don't mind, and don't just, I hate when people just randomly FaceTime me. Do not.
Who does that? It's like,
I hate that.
You're guilty, Michelle.
I'm guilty. It's a friend. I don't care. I'll be like taking a poop and like FaceTime my friend, but like I'm trying to get with somebody. Like,
okay, you're gonna get it now, Michelle. I'm in the bathroom and I don't care.
Hell yeah. I'll sit and poop and talk to friends on the toilet if they're my best friend.
Yeah. I do the same thing.
I don't know if it's the social. I'm an extrovert, like tier 9 extrovert. So I need to be out. And I think that I FaceTime because I want to feel like I'm seeing that person. Like the phone is great, but now we have FaceTime. I want to see what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm a FaceTimer. Sorry.
No, I love it. Just don't do it like. Give me like 10, 15 minutes to prepare, at least, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Danielle, how much is too much? Danielle?
Yeah, I'm not a FaceTimer unless like I'm ready.
I know.
Exactly. You just want to look cute.
I don't
like when you flip over somebody's house for the first time, you roll out of bed like earlier than them, you go to the bathroom, you freshen up, like, we'll talk like this. Just kidding.
Quick judge, right?
Yeah, you have to,
Oh man,
Paul, tell us a too much story. When was too much? Give us a too much story.
Oh gosh, too much is as you described it a little bit earlier. You're not certain about your feelings for the individual, and yet every 15 or 20 minutes there's a text, and there's a nice little quote for you, or there's something here, there's something there, and meanwhile I'm thinking, hey, I'm not quite sure how I'm feeling about you, but I'm watching a movie right now. And I really got to get back to the movie. Ding! Oh gosh, oh, okay, yeah. And I usually answer pretty quick, and it's like, oh boy, it's just getting interesting now. And then it goes off. My interest will get less and less, and I'll be answering less and less. So it's just kind of like, yeah. How do you respond politely and say, hey, wait a minute, let me get back to you? And I've done that before too, is like, hey, I'm just busy right now. Let me get a hold of you tomorrow. Gives me a little bit of time to think and to look and examine the relationship.
Yeah, and if they're going to be that way, if they're going to be that way in the beginning, then it's kind of like, what are you dealing with? This is a peak of your life in the future. So
yeah,
you don't want that, guys. You don't want that.
Well, we want to make sure that we are honorable. We respect your time and the time of the viewer. So we want to wrap with a really great question for each and every one of you. And I'm going to start with Carla. And the question is, what plans do you have for the rest of the year? Now, 2020 has been very unpredictable, but I think, you know what? Every day is a new day and you make the most of it. So I'm curious to hear what it is that you guys are either excited for or have plans for. And we'll start with Carla.
To be honest, I have so many plans of literally living intuitively. I may even move back towards home. I've literally been just kind of, what I do for a living, I can work from anywhere. I love Toronto, but with all of the corona and everything happening, and I'm kind of talking to an old flame. Home. I know, it's so kind of just random, and I'm feeling like I'm just going to let everything play out as it does. And I'm going to keep doing what I do, keep inspiring and helping people, and see where everything else takes me. I'm not going to plan anything because I'm a Capricorn, so I'm planning and always get this done, get this goal, check this off, do this. So I'm going to become my own surrender experiment. And I've done it before, and that brought me to Toronto. I was living in Edmonton as an executive assistant. So here I am 5 years later in Toronto, and so I'm kind of excited as to what's next, and I don't have any specific plan.
Awesome. Yeah. I think I love that surrender. I think that's a great plan to have.
Yeah, I figure, you know what, it's just this has all really showed me a lot, and we can't plan for a future. You don't know what's going to be in 6 months from now. Are we going to be doing what we're doing? So I just feel right now I love what I do. I can do it from anywhere. I can help people all over the world from my living room. So that is what I'm going to keep doing, and until that something changes in my soul, then that's when I'll kind of move in that direction.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's a great piece of advice for everyone.
Carla, and we're going to tell everybody how to get a hold of Carla and all of our guests. So we love you.
I love you.
Thanks for coming, my dear.
All right. Danielle, we have I have a friend of mine who said I needed to tell Danielle I said hi. Do you know Mitch Christantos?
Yes, tell him I said hi. Oh my God, Mitch and I go way back. Yeah,
I told him. He goes, "When are you going to tell her I said hi?" I said, "I'll talk to you." He's so, okay, you said hello. We're done. You're nuts. What are your plans for the rest of the year? What do you got planned?
I love that she said surrender. I mean, this is like everybody's, rushing back to get to what used to be, but I think it's never going to be that. And I think that it's been so nice to, reconnect with friends and spend time with family, and to be able just to, create those relationships on a deeper level. I mean, I'm sure the movie business is going to come back. I'm already up for a couple different TV shows and a couple different films, so that's good. But I'm just working on my book, and I'm working on things entrepreneurially, and then everything will come back when it will. I'm just going to keep creating.
Well, keep us posted, and we're going to also post the links to how everybody can follow you. We
Okay.
want to know about the book. And thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for coming.
Thank you guys so much.
Stay safe.
Thank you. All righty.
And
Ariel,
there were two.
we know you have a day of filming left. Tell everybody what you're up to. Any parting advice as you make your way to your filming?
Parting advice: be open and be honest with whoever you're talking to, especially with yourself. If you know the person's not good for you and you're seeing red flags, be honest with yourself about it, and don't be needy. That's my advice. Don't be needy, because I know that's my go-to, right? My go-to is to be needy.
It's so hard when you're that needy person, but like,
oh, I am that needy. I was that needy person. I was. Yeah.
Share
Not
with us,
anymore.
what do you have planned for the rest of the year? Really quick, 30 seconds.
Oh, I really don't know. It literally changes by the day. So I'm excited to celebrate. Yeah. So yeah, surrender. Eckhart Tolle quote. That's what she was quoting, I think. I'm excited to see what kind of prides are going to be this year since the quarantine and stuff. I think it's going to be at a later date, which isn't the worst thing, because it'll be nicer to have it a little cooler.
I've seen some things saying they're doing it virtual, so they're going to try to figure out something. But
Yeah.
I don't think I would attend virtual pride personally, but yeah.
We'll see.
Well,
We'll see what
thank you
happens.
so much for
Thank
joining.
you.
Thank you guys.
Good
Have
luck
fun.
filming.
Your new videos.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, Paul.
The only, your testosterone had to cover all these women. Like, my goodness.
I survived and I got educated, and I really appreciate both of you for having done that for me today.
Thank you.
A little bit of advice I'd like to give people, and I've written it in my book too. We have talked about some very important issues here: communication, chemistry, connection. People, we have three time zones, the way I see it: the past, the present, and the future. And what happened 5 minutes ago, we cannot change. And some people live in the past, and they allow the past to really immobilize them or hurt them and prevent them from moving forward. The future, as we already know, we can plan for it, but boy, can things change? Who knew 3 months ago, 4 months ago, that the world would be on lockdown, that we would have riots across the world? We can plan for it, but it's not necessarily going to happen. But do plan for the good things. Now, the one time zone, the present, is the one that we should be living in the most. This is where we can make the most difference, where we can connect with someone and make a difference in our own lives and in the lives of others. If you have that feeling that you should be out of a relationship, live in the moment and follow your instinct. But the moment right now is our most important moment, and the one that we can influence. What I plan on doing in the next year is to finish my third book. I have something going called Inspire Us, and it was going to be a number of talks with people from different parts of the world and all walks of life to come up and inspire us. So I had this whole thing going on, and then COVID-19 happened. I'm still going to move forward with it, but it's going to be more people, videos and stuff like that, and interviews like what we're doing right now. And just to get my film hopefully picked up by one of the major news networks and get working on that.
All right.
Thank you so much, Paul.
Thank
We
you.
will connect everyone to you. You were gracious, and we wish you the best.
Thank you. All the best,
Take
ladies.
care.
Bye.
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 Oh
my God.
goodness.
I don't want to say bye.
No, me neither. Oh my goodness. Well, we're not going to, because
We're not.
we have created a Facebook group. And for everybody who's watching and you want to connect, and if you're single and you want to meet any of our past guests, it's called Spicy Singles Club. Yes, Michelle, do we have that? All right.
Yes, I'm putting it in the chat.
On Facebook, connect with us. Not only are we showcasing and having all of the singles who have been on our show and featured, including the mystery singles, over almost 40 singles are influencers. We also have special programs where you can work with Michelle and I as a coach to help you with your swiping, your messaging, your branding, or having us introduce you to someone special. Because at the end of the day, we're matchmakers. We're committed to helping you find someone special.
Absolutely. And one of the things, as we close off this season, first and foremost, I just want to thank my gracious co-host and my gracious colleague, not even my co-host, my colleague, Carmelia, for jumping on this collaboration with me. Thank you so much. And I'm so excited for season 2. To all of you who are supporting us week after week, thank you, because this is possible because of you. And to all of the guests who have been on our show, thank you so much for coming on here, being vulnerable, having fun, and just, taking your love life to another level. For all of you watching, thank you so much. Stay safe, be good, and be kind.
Cheers.
Take care. Cheers.